Let's start off a new section, which is modules in JavaScript. You see, modules are very important concepts in JavaScript and any other programming language. Just like a painter has on his palette paint in different compartments with different colors, and he or she combines them to create a piece of art, or a writer that writes different chapters to a book. Modules are just like that, in that different pieces of code are grouped together so that things are organized, and as our application gets larger and larger, we can combine different pieces together to make these large applications. It's very similar to the idea of separation of concern, right? The thing that we saw in functional programming and object-oriented programming, where we try to contain things into their own functionality. And good modules are like that. They're highly self-contained and grouped together with their own specific functionality, allowing them to be moved around, used by other places, or even removed without disrupting the whole system as a whole. Now, in this section, we're going to talk about the historical way, how people originally used the idea of modules in JavaScript, and where we are now with native ES6 modules. We're going to go from the very beginning to now, and hopefully you'll understand some of the pain that we had in the past and where we're going to next, so that we're able to build these modular pieces of code. Because remember, we need a way to import code that we want to use. We don't necessarily have just one massive JavaScript file. Ideally, our code is broken up into different files with different functionality, or perhaps we even borrowing code that somebody else wrote, and we want to use that in our program. So we need a way in JavaScript to import dependencies, that is code that we want to use, and export functionality, often called an interface, to allow others to use our code. And with modules, this idea extends beyond just functions and classes that we saw in our programming paradigms. This idea of modularity actually goes beyond just JavaScript files to entire systems and distributed computing. The concept prevails throughout programming. So in this section, we're going to talk about modules in JavaScript, where we came from and where we are now, and the best practices. Let's get started.